Week 8 has been great, but not if you entered the week undefeated. 5 unbeaten teams are unbeaten no more. Miami lost to Louisville on Friday, followed by Ole Miss, Texas Tech, Memphis, and UNLV here on Saturday. The last time 5 or more undefeated teams lost in a single week in Week 8 or later, some 10 years ago. Back here with Kenjon Barner, Richard Johnson. Let's welcome in 24/7 Sports college football analyst Brad Crawford here to look ahead to the rankings. New poll released on Sunday. And for the first time in program history, Indiana will be ranked second in the country. It's another 7-0 start under head coach Curt Cignetti. Brad, with Miami's loss on Friday, let's welcome Curt Cignetti and Indiana into the top 10 and into the top 2.
Right, and without a doubt, Indiana has 2 of the best wins this season against 2 top 10 teams. I know Penn State has faltered the last couple of weeks, firing James Franklin, but you got to look at what Indiana done on paper, and it's been very impressive. They beat a pesky Michigan State team today. Indiana is a team that, without a doubt, here at midseason, has a first-round bye in the playoff. And with Miami's loss to Louisville, bad home loss for Mario Cristobal, Curt Cignetti can smoke his cigar and move up in the polls this week.
Their third ranking, number 3 ranking, was already the highest in program history. Number 2 now going to be the new highest ranking in program history, Richard.
Yeah, I have absolutely no problem with it. I think if Indiana wins out and Ohio State keeps playing like this, we may hash out who's really number 1 first weekend of December in Indianapolis. But at the end of the day, yeah, Indiana's the second best team in the country for my money.
No doubt about it. After what I've seen them do against my Oregon Ducks in Alton and them coming out doing the same thing this week, this is absolutely deserving. Shout out to Coach Cignetti. He has his team playing with their hair on fire. When you talk about embodying a personality, that's what this Indiana team is. They are embodying who Coach Cignetti is and how he presents himself to the world.
They're going to run the table to the Big Ten championship. I think they're going to do it.
They should.
They're going to be the number 2 team in the country. I already welcomed in our Indiana grads. I said welcome to the top 2, and they're happy. They're excited about that, as I am as a Big Ten guy. Indiana starts 7-0 in back-to-back seasons for the first time in program history. Alabama meantime won 6 in a row, including 4 against ranked opponents. Brad, what have you learned about the Tide during this stretch?
They've been able to bounce back. It came from that first weekend loss to Florida State, and credit to Kalen DeBoer for controlling that locker room, and most importantly, Ty Simpson. He has assumed a leadership position at quarterback, played well again tonight against Tennessee, and now with 4 consecutive wins over ranked teams, this Alabama squad has a resume like no other in college football. Would not surprise me at all if Alabama is number 3 in Sunday's new AP poll, and right now they are trending toward a first-round bye as my projected SEC champion.
I have no issue with that whatsoever. Alabama is playing like a top 5 team in the country. They may very well walk into next week being number 3 team. And when you look at what they've done since the Florida State game, it's deserving. This team has turned it around. They shut out all the noise that was being talked once they lost to Florida State and have completely turned this thing around. So I'm right in line with that.
Brad, always knew I liked you. Smart guy. Alabama, to me, is clearly the best team in the SEC, team to beat in the SEC here moving forward down the stretch. I also think that Alabama, to be honest with you, sitting at number 3 makes a lot of sense. And this is the beauty of the new system, the new college football playoff system. It allows you to make a mistake. It can happen, and then you play your way back. You show resiliency over the course of time, over the course of the season. No team is the same in September as it is in October and November. And one loss should not disqualify you from chasing a championship. Yeah. And it's not going to this Alabama team. They've been able to rebound, put it behind them, and they're a totally different team.
Be interesting to see who they end up playing in the SEC championship. Who will it be? Texas A&M? Will it be Ole Miss? What's going to happen? Could it be Georgia? A lot of season left, but not a lot of season left. Here we are in Week 8. 3 weeks ago, Alabama beat then number 5 Georgia. Here in Week 8, 9th-ranked Georgia beat number 5 Ole Miss, handing the Rebels their first loss of the season. Gunnar Stockton, 5 total touchdowns as the Dogs outscored Ole Miss 17-0 in the fourth quarter. Brad, what are the implications of this result?
Ole Miss is still in great shape to make the playoff. I think at worst, the Rebels are going to be a 10-2 finish team. They play at Oklahoma next week, so that's a pivotal game for them. They need to split these games against ranked teams. We kind of said that a few weeks ago when Ole Miss beat LSU for its first ranked win. And you see in today's game, Trinidad Chambliss played well the first 3 quarters. I think Ole Miss scored on its first 5 possessions. And then Kirby Smart and that defense, man, finally broke serve and kind of caught hold in that fourth quarter. You see the rest of Ole Miss schedule, definitely favorable down the stretch. Probably going to beat a bad South Carolina team. That Florida game last year gave Lane Kiffin some issues. I know Lane Kiffin's name's been attached to a possible vacancy there in Gainesville. So a lot to look over the next 5 or 6 final weeks of the campaign for the Rebels.
You said earlier, just don't have one of those dumb losses on your schedule.
I think there is a silly loss in this Ole Miss team.
You do.
Had to hang on against that Washington State team last week. I understand that was a little bit of a look-ahead spot, but I don't think it's so smooth sailing coming home for them. Yes, they lost that Florida game last year. It could happen again with a Florida team that won't really have much to play for overall later in the season. But then I look at that Egg Bowl Thanksgiving weekend, and we know Egg Bowls can get squirrely no matter who's good and who's not. Now you have a legitimately decent Mississippi State team coming into that Egg Bowl game. Ole Miss better watch out. And that's if they could get past that Oklahoma defense next week. That's as good as it comes in college football.
And you led me right into my point. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And guess what? I'm a drink. The Oklahoma game next week, that is my focus. I understand the Egg Bowl and I understand what that means at the end of the season. But when you look at the defensive front for Oklahoma, that is a task that we will see if Ole Miss is up to.
Trinidad Chambliss will have not gotten anything near that so early in the season.
We will see what they can do against it because that front is absolutely tremendous. It's violent, it's aggressive, they control the line of scrimmage, so we will absolutely see if Ole Miss is capable.
Yeah, that'll be a noon Eastern start in Norman, Oklahoma, hosting Ole Miss. College Football Playoff Selection Committee will release its first rankings on Tuesday, November 4th, getting closer and closer. Brad Crawford will give us his top 12 teams each and every week here leading up to the CFP rankings. He'll be with us when we reveal those rankings as well. Brad, take us through your top 12 predictions for Sunday. Who you got falling, who you got rising?
Yeah, I think Indiana takes a leap into that number 2 spot. I've got Bama after a 4th straight win over a ranked team moving into that 3-hole. Texas A&M 4, Oregon 5, and Georgia 6. Kind of some fluctuation there. I don't think Ole Miss is going to fall too far. Only lost by a single possession at Georgia. Georgia Tech, unbeaten in the ACC. Miami's falter, man, from number 2 down to that number, 8 spot for me or 9 for Miami. I think Miami's going to be the biggest dropper in Sunday's poll. Notre Dame coming back up there, still control their own destiny. Notre Dame won a playoff elimination game today against USC. That was a game the Irish had to have. Couldn't afford a 9-3 finish. That's the first ranked win Notre Dame has this season too. And then Texas Tech's loss just muddied up the entire Big 12 championship picture.
Brad, not in your top 12, but how close are the doors, the Vanderbilt Commodores, to making your top 12?
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt actually, Richard, is in better shape right now to make the playoff than Tennessee is, even if both those teams were to finish 10-2, because Vanderbilt already has 2 ranked wins, beat LSU today, beat South Carolina on the road a couple weeks ago. Tennessee doesn't have a ranked win right now. So I would have Vanderbilt in that 13 or 14 range heading into the Week 9 AP rankings. Clark Lee's team, it's crazy that we're saying here, approaching Week 9, Vanderbilt still controls its playoff destiny.
I love your top 12, and I'm in complete agreement with it. The team that I am really in alignment with is Georgia Tech. I love what they've been able to do in the SEC. I love how they've continued to build and be that team kind of no one's really talking about. But at the same time, everybody knows who they are because of the way that they play. So I'm completely in line with your top 12. You're hitting the nail right on the head.
Brad Crawford has a new best friend. His name is Kenjon Barner.
My guy.
There we go. My guy, Richard Johnson, here with us on CBS Sports HQ. Men, thank you. Week 8 here as the season continues to go along and chaos and drama, and we love it. As we take a look at the odds to win the national championship, number 1 Ohio State, the favorite to run it back, plus 260. The next shortest odds belong to Alabama at plus 650, and then Indiana and Oregon at plus 900. Indiana already got the better of the Ducks. Ohio State looking to run it back. Last school to win back-to-back natties, Georgia, in 2021 and 2022.